The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Nicole Hennessy, Vice President of Music Biz. Welcome to the Common Ground webinar series. I hope you're all safe and healthy in this crazy time in our world, and glad you could be with us here today. This is a special presentation today. The Future is Now is an initiative that Bill Gagnon and Universal Music put together last year for the Music Biz annual conference. In 2019, they had a number of really great new music products on display in a room at the JW Marriott where we host our annual conference. I can't tell you how many times I walked past the door and couldn't even get in to see what was going on because people were really into, looking at the AI software and all the other hardwares that they had on display there. The Future is Now is going to be coming back to the Music Biz annual conference, though we were slated to be not next week, the following week in May in Nashville. We've postponed. We're going to be August 16th through the 19th, still at the JW and still in Nashville. So that's what we're planning at the time. We look forward to welcoming The Future is Now back into a bigger space. So hopefully we'll have some more technologies in there, but worked with Bill to bring you today two great companies in the home interactive space, Fender and Peloton. But before I turn it over, I just have a few housekeeping things. As I said, Music Biz 2020, August 16th through the 19th at the JW Marriott. You can find out more, the announcements that we've made so far at musicbiz2020.com. In the meantime, while we can't be face-to-face, we have two virtual series, the Common Ground webinar series that you're on now, some great upcoming events in the next couple of weeks as well. We'll welcome Rock, Paper, Scissors. We'll welcome Data Art, the Music Fund, and a couple others that are still in the works. So check our website often. That's musicbiz.org. Under the events tab, you'll see Common Ground webinar series. In this time, we've also opened up parts of our website. Our recorded webinars, past archived webinars, are usually under a password protected section of the site. We've opened that up. Anyone can go and view the recorded webinars during this time to learn about the companies and our membership. So again, that's under the events tab, Common Ground webinars, and there you'll find our recorded webinars. We also started a series that we're calling Music Biz Live. They're high-level interviews with executives across the business. They're conducted by our president, Portia Sabin. They happen on Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Next week's lineup is pretty great. On Monday, we have a series on mental health support systems and leadership. We will welcome Dr. Chaim Newman from Thrive, Al Andrews from Porter's Call, Alana Zitkovich from Work, and Ty Sticklorius from Friends at Work. So a great conversation on how to take care of your artists, yourself, and your teams during this trying time. And then on Wednesday, we're going to welcome a group of research experts who are going to share some new research from during this COVID-19 period and make some predictions on what they think, sales, consumer trends, consumer behaviors are going to look like in the coming months and years. And joining us will be Russ Krupnick from Music Watch, David Bakula from MRC Data, Sonia Hai from AudienceNet, and Rucker Rosenberg from Chartmetric. So those are on Monday and Wednesday of next week. musicbizlive.org, and you can find the information for those. They are Zoom, so you'll find Zoom links there to attend. So that is all from me. I'm going to turn it over to Bill. There is a questions box on your screen. Feel free, if you have any questions or you're having any issues and need some troubleshooting, drop those questions into that questions box. And we'll take care of those. Bill, thank you so much for bringing the Future of Now to Music Biz last year, this year, and virtually. And I'll turn it over to you to introduce our special guest today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. A lot of going on here with Music Biz. I like it. It was like about 10 minutes of intro, which is all good stuff though. So anyways, thanks for having us. I'm Bill Gagnon. I'm the Senior Vice President of Business Development in the Strategic Technology Group at Universal. As Nicole was mentioning, we've been working closely with Music Biz and the Future of Now. It's basically the concept is new technologies and products that come into the marketplace to kind of introduce them to the music community and get you guys exposure to what it is. So today, we're going to focus on the in-home interactive music experiences that fit into this category. This is a trend that's been developing for a while. Fans are finding deeper engagement beyond just listening to music. They're interacting in several ways. They're engaging with stems, they're remixing songs, they're using music in VR experiences, they're finding play instruments, they're using music in fitness. They're basically taking things to another level that we couldn't even really imagine 10 years ago. And these are all things that were previously done outside the home just a few years ago. But now with tech and the distribution of new apps, these interactive music experiences are all becoming commonplace. And we're gonna we're gonna get into that. And today we're gonna focus on fitness and online learning. And to help us do it, we have special guests from the leading companies in their categories, Peloton and Fender. So from Peloton, we have Gwen Bethel Riley, who's the VP of Music Partnerships. Gwen, how are you?
Awesome. How are you?
Good, good. And we're pumped to have you, and thanks for joining us. And we're equally excited to have from Fender, Ethan Kaplan, the General Manager of Fender Digital. Ethan, how you doing, my man?
Pretty great, thanks.
Good. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to give you a quick market overview before we turn it over to Gwen and Ethan. As Nicole was mentioning, this is sponsored by the Future is that we put on at Music Biz to focus on new technologies and products that are coming into the marketplace that you may not have heard about, but try to amplify the fact they're there so people in the community can come by and check them out and learn about what's happening with those. Some of the categories that we've been working on are STEM-based interactive music, voice, AR, VR, high-res audio, like Dolby Atmos and Sony 360 AR, connected fitness platforms like Peloton and music education apps like Fender. So again, we're planning to present this at Music Biz this year. We have a room, we'll do some panels, we'll do some stuff, so be sure to check all that stuff out. So let's talk a little bit about in-home music experiences, fitness and music learning. The trend's been developing over the year. I mean, we're hearing a lot about it right now because of obviously we're all at home. But this is stuff that's been going on for a few years now. It's just the fact that we're all at home now that's becoming more on our radar. There's more trial going on, but it's a trend that was already happening. Ethan and Gwen are well aware of this kind of stuff. And but with fitness and music learning, these things are really accelerating at a fast pace right now. And music is a key component to these types of experiences. If you think about fitness and music integration, how it works, I mean, we all intuitively know that music is a great aid for working out and helping you get to another level. And Peloton's really doing a great job at optimizing on that. But there's also, you know, people discover music, new music when they're working out, and that there's digital service providers like Spotify and Apple and Tidal and Amazon. They all have their own workout playlist, beast modes, yoga, power hour, all these kind of things. But when you look at Peloton, what their platform is doing, they're really showing what the value of a deeper integration of music and fitness beyond just a playlist there. And Gwen is going to get into that and show some creative ways of how they're doing it to enhance their members' experiences. So if you look at the fitness market, I mean, it's been growing for a while, but there's been recent growth with it because Gen Z is now coming into the market. There's tech innovations or curated experiences. The overall fitness market's a $30 billion business. Be nice to just get a small slice of that from the music side. And then you look at music learning and how much that's really on the rise. I mean, you think about the infrastructure that we have now. Mobile phones, tablets are just ubiquitous with our lives now in there. And there's been just a number of products that have come out. You know, you think about it, there's music making apps like Ableton and Logic, and a lot of small apps doing that. Music education from elite music institutions like Berklee School of Music and even Carnegie Hall are getting into the game. And then Fender has been at this, you know, one of the great music instrument brands and a leader in the guitar space. And they have an amazing app called Fender Play. And Ethan Fender will get into that and show you all the great things that are happening there. So that kind of sets it all up. So I'm going to turn it over to Gwen, who has a great presentation about Peloton, how music's integrated into their platform. So Gwen, it's been a long lead up. We were on the call 15 minutes before. Nicole had all her housekeeping stuff. I got all my housekeeping. You ready?
Yes.
All right, so I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Bill. And thank you, Nicole and Music Biz, obviously, for inviting us to participate. It's really exciting. My name is Gwen Bethel Riley. I handle music partnerships for Peloton. I've been at the company about 9 or 10 months now, and it's an amazing place that's experienced incredible growth in a relatively short period of time, and yet has managed to remain very much an innovative startup in spirit. So a little bit about my background. I actually started out in feature film, handling music for indie startup production company in New York in the late 90s, which was a relatively disruptive period for film and music soundtracks. And that ultimately led to coming out to LA to run music for a mini major studio, Artisan Entertainment, which is now Lionsgate. But then a very funny thing happened, and I transitioned into digital. And that was with the launch of the App Store in 2008. And when you look at the App Store and the first gen iPhone, that completely took the world by surprise, right? You had the emergence of a new digital platform via a phone with a fully interactive touchscreen and a digital store with entirely new organizing principles. So, you know, trying to parse music deals and structure inside and on top of that was really like the Wild West, and everybody's mind, including the music industries, was being collectively blown. And you know, when you think about it, this really changed the immediacy of consumer consumption habits, right? And monetization around music and content and screen connectedness in entirely new ways. And for the next decade, the challenge for me and for others in this part of the business has really been figuring out how to create music ecosystems on top of evolving platforms that continue to iterate and change as technology becomes more sophisticated. So I was working with a Silicon Valley developer, Tapulous, which made the most successful mobile music game on the App Store and launched day and date with it. And we were ultimately acquired by Disney Interactive. So I moved from mobile gaming to wholly new emerging platforms that evolved out of that studio into AAA gaming, into streaming content, to connected consumer products and live experiential events, all of which involved figuring out how to bring music into media content on top of evolving tech models. And so when I got the call from Peloton, I was just beyond thrilled, because I could tell that this company was on the cusp of the next era of digital in a completely fresh new technology space, and at a level of innovation I had never experienced. And you know, once again, the challenge and the real opportunity in this new space was representing a totally dynamic opportunity for music discovery, monetization, engagement, and distribution. So slide, Bill. You know who we are. Who are we? You could go to slide 2. I don't know if anybody's seeing the new slides or not, or if Bill, you can hear me. But I guess I'll just talk through it and maybe we can catch up. Peloton is the largest interactive fitness platform in the world. We have over 2 million members. Membership is everything. It is core and essential to the DNA of the company. And we believe, which is, particularly apparent in these sort of confined and challenged times, that physical activity is the cornerstone to a balanced life. We really want to help people with this by allowing them to feel good and empowered to make a fitness choice for themselves. And we really do it by making it entertaining, we make it affordable, we make it effective, and we make it convenient. So our founder, John Foley, was really sort of looking around the boutique fitness space in New York back in 2011, which was booming at the time, but classes really couldn't scale beyond the number of spin bikes that you found in a boutique studio, right? Scheduling was an effort, it required advanced planning and timing, and none of this really empowered the consumer, even though they loved the workout class experience. So the dilemma and the thing that needed to be solved was really, how do you digitize this boutique live workout experience, right? And capture that in a way so that it's always on, and how do we figure out how to scale it globally? And the answer to that was really to pioneer a brand new fitness category. Next slide, which is the connected fitness category. And this is where this is important, because this is kind of one of the first times where hardware, software, and the app were connected and combined into a new fitness platform for members. And through this connected space, music needs to flow seamlessly, right? So a quick overview of our offerings: we currently sell a bike and a treadmill. And we have a connected fitness subscription for $39 a month, access to our full workout content library, including all of the additional workout disciplines. We also offer a digital-only subscription to the app for $12.99. And this allows people to access all of our disciplines from the home or on the go. And actually, we offer a free trial on the app, so check it out if you're at home and looking for some cool workout options right now. We're totally connected on iOS, on Android, and Amazon TV platforms as well, so you can stream it right into your living room on the big screen and have a great workout experience. One of the things that people don't realize sometimes is that there are actually a wide variety of disciplines that don't require hardware, right? We have strength, cardio, stretch, yoga, what else? Boot camp, meditation, cardio dance, which is a new area for us, guided running, power walking. I've got a lot of friends in LA right now who are walking their dogs 7 times a day to the power walking discipline, and the dogs are starting to look really good. They're getting ripped. We've also got, through this connected experience, we're really talking about unlimited use, world-class instructors, thousands of workouts, evolving programming in and across these various disciplines, and a connected community experience for membership when you want it, where you want it, how you want it, all through a connected platform. Slide. And we manage, and start talking to our members throughout the entire really customer experience. So even beyond the actual product, we control all of our member touch points from the very beginning on a very high touch basis. And really this allows us to provide the best experience for our members, who immediately feel like they're part of the community. We're selling direct to consumer through our own sales channels, where we deliver the majority of our own product with our highly trained, like, white glove service team. We have our own member support teams who are on staff to provide any service needs and member support. And it's also worth noting that we're up to 96, I think, global showrooms right now, which serve as retail and apparel space as well. So we run and control a number of different internal business verticals that are all driving to service the consumer, convert them to members, however and wherever they're kind of coming into our platform. Next slide. And one important area of expansion is also exciting me, which is our demographics, which are now falling into the under 35 category. So our membership, while becoming even more connected through the app and our variety of financing options, is also becoming younger. They're becoming more diverse. They're becoming broader based. And this presents yet another opportunity for music growth. We're also becoming more international. Slide. Our territories have expanded in recent years to Canada and UK and Germany. So how do we engage with members? Next slide, sorry, Bill. We speak to our membership through our elite team of instructors who are really, when I think about it, they're our talent, they're our influencers, and they really are the face of the brand. And these guys are truly incredible and amazing athletes. Their collective expertise spans over 10 different fitness and wellness specialties. We're up to 32 instructors now. They work out of 2 studios where we film our live class instruction. We have a brand new state-of-the-art studio in New York and a studio in the UK, which also services Germany with classes in German. The way it works is that the classes are all live streamed, so the members can tune in and participate in real time and be actively tracked on the leaderboard. They can receive shout outs from the instructors. They can high five their friends. I think in 2019, we gave something like 65 million virtual high fives. So that the digital high five is just riding the wave right now. Then what happens is the live class is then moved to the on-demand library where it can be downloaded at any time and searched through a variety of filters that allow you to sort by instructor or class discipline. You can search by music, length, class time, etc., just to find the classes that are right for you right in your living room or your workout space. And because of this, the instructors and the music team really work hand in hand because music is such a big part of the instructor's brand. Our instructors are really programming music across all verticals, and our music team is here to support them in helping to program engaging soundtracks to their workouts that cover all varieties of artists, genre, mood, tempo, as well as targeted specialty programming that they might be interested in exploring. So I think actually this is a good segue just to go right into our music program and philosophy slide. So next slide, we have a key music leadership team. Those are just some of the names. I'm sure many of you watching have met up with some of these people and intersected. But if you move on to the next slide, it's really the slide about music supervision, right? And our philosophy when it comes to music supervision. First, since we're managing a really large and growing repertoire of music, it is extremely important to keep our catalog fresh, compelling, and in constant rotation. So we're constantly making sure that we're staying up to date on programming material, we're listening to our members, and we're listening and we're educating our instructors, and we're working closely with our music partners as we start to think about ways to create amazing audio experiences for each workout, right? So our approach really starts with making sure that we're staying true to the authenticity of the instructor's needs. You know, what are their workout objectives? What's their narrative? What are the cadence and the beats that need to land and the mood and the vibe that are very important to establish as they speak to their audience and the membership, right? And we balance that against making sure that we are growing a music library that allows us to select the right song for the right moment in every class. And we're always taking into account how this is going to enhance and engage our entire member experience. Because if, you know, ultimately, if it's really not super serving our membership, we're probably not gonna do it. But hopefully, if we get it right, there's a song in each class that a member will discover and love. And there will also be a song that the member is excited to hear again, and it may inspire them to go farther, and it may bring back memories that assist in elevating that ride experience for them. And, you know, a member's relationship with music, I think is extremely personal, and it's something that they own. And if we're doing our job the right way, we're just here to open the door. And on the hardware, they can link to their Apple or their Spotify account and connect it to their Peloton account so that when they like a track during a workout, the track immediately populates in their own unique Peloton playlist. So there are also a number of features like that that we continue to add and develop to allow you to enjoy your music discovery on and then off the platform. Next slide. Commercials. We make commercials, as everyone knows. We also do a lot of commercial sync licensing for for digital and for television, and this is really another area where music can play a key role in supporting our advertising agendas for owned and paid media. It's also a space where we can break music and really surprise and delight our member audience, and we can do that in a thoughtful and strategic manner to really help elevate and also support our brand. And then moving on to partnerships, music partnerships, next slide, area that is near and dear to me. One example of a really successful sort of partnership series that we've developed is our artist series. And it's just been an incredible way to partner with key artists and spotlight their music and their legacy, really as an instructor-led celebration. It consists of us hosting an artist-themed event, oftentimes across multiple disciplines, that are specifically designed and exclusively focused to highlight the artist's talents and contributions. And the talent is really featured through carefully curated playlists and workouts to complement, and it really allows us to elevate anything from their artistry to their songwriting, vocal style, production, or collaborations, all tailored from their catalog as a one-of-a-kind artist experience across the platform for our membership. And our members, they love the series, and the series are hosted by our instructors who really want to lead the rides because, first and foremost, they're fans, right? So this type of engagement, and because of the screen connectedness and what's happening across the platform, is really uniquely symbiotic, and it's amazingly effective and organic, right? The instructors will post on their socials and they'll start a conversation about the artist in advance of the ride. And then as the excitement builds and grows, the members take the ride and they go on a musical journey where they can enjoy banter about the artist or dig deep into the catalog or feel camaraderie with the community of other fans or become new fans just through discovering a new artist in this way. And the more that the members talk about the artist ride on social media and in their community groups, the more new members want to see what they're all about. And you can see on the slide, really, we've worked with everyone from Paul McCartney, Gaga, Lizzo, Queen, Billie Eilish, Smokey Robinson, Pink, Madonna, Shakira, J-Lo, Coldplay, more. Every partnership, though, it really has to start with the music and how it can best connect into the platform and really speak to our members, potentially solve for something that we need, and then we're looking at ways that we can elevate and organically develop that from there. So the biggest question that you probably have is, how does this member-driven philosophy actually get executed with the tech, particularly in light of all the incoming music that needs to get managed under the hood? And the answer is on the next slide, because it is a little engine that we call Crescendo. So we are serviced similar to other DSP platforms with a steady flow of new releases weekly. And we have a proprietary tech engine that on the back end can not only support all of that ingestion, but it's actually handling everything from, it's incredible, music administration, rights identification, profiling, meta tagging, search functionality, usage tracking, and reporting, while it provides this really, really clean and elegant class planning, search, and submission tool for instructors in the production department on the front end. So it's important to understand that every Peloton class is really developed, created, and produced in Crescendo. I guess going to the next slide, you can, Crescendo was really set up to manage a number of various complexities. The first of which stems from a rights management perspective, because all music stakeholders on the recording and the composition side have to have a direct license with the platform if a track is to be made available for programming by an instructor. So Crescendo was actually developed by this incredibly talented team of engineers from a company some of you may know as Neurotic Media that Peloton acquired back in 2018. And it really gives us this unique ability to track, identify, and gate large volumes of music content that's coming inbound, while also building and creating and deploying new features that we know our members want, and then innovating and creating tools that our instructors, production teams, and the music supervisors love. So you'll see here just kind of on the last few slides that we have innovative ways to program and search, and we can also promote. One example of a cool new programming feature is that we can provide a feedback loop to remind you if there's been repetition in your programming and the last time you used a track, so that we've automated a bit of a way to keep the playlist fresh. And then we're really creating a custom, fitness specific search module where you can earmark and notate certain types of workout transitions, where you can search by BPM, you can tag segments of music, you can figure out timing transitions on here, you can do crossfades, etc. And we can also promote and help to amplify our music supervision on the front end of the system, where we can speak to our programmers and do things like internal playlisting and feature spotlights and update, music suggestions for any kind of a la carte playlisting imaginable. They also dropped it into an app for the instructors who need to program on the go. And these are just a few of the tools that they've developed that our instructors are using hourly to craft special, unique workout playlists for every piece of new content that they create. And obviously I geek out and get really excited about this tech because as we continue to develop it and process just millions of tracks, we are actively refining data collection and organization for the emerging connected fitness category. And what we build here really becomes more and more nuanced and customized with more sophisticated features and updates. And this really allows us to continue to develop the best audio brand for the business and for our member experience. So, from class planning to playlisting to actually running audio through the live production from our shooting stage and marrying music to picture, this software suite supports it all and has become a state-of-the-art tool for music integration. And this all really, this all goes to say that this was developed in the spirit of our members first philosophy and the advent of interactive fitness. And, the exciting thing in the time right now is that while we continue to innovate on our music platform, the larger company is innovating around us, and that's pushing both sides to just continue to develop and come up with new ideas and ways that we can continue to deliver excellent music to our audience, to our users, and our membership. So I think I've talked enough. Thank you so much for listening and for learning about our product and our platforms. And I'll send it back to you, Bill.
Yeah, thanks, Gwen. I mean, I was a couple of things about Peloton. I was looking at the playlist that you showed there, and it wasn't like your standard list of top 50 songs and lined up at the same BPMs or whatever. You could tell like there's a real science that's going into it. And I think that's the kind of stuff that you can differentiate on and really deliver an amazing experience to the consumer. I also know that anybody that I've ever talked to that's involved with Peloton, they just rave about it. You guys must have like 100% customer satisfaction. So it's good to hear. So let's transition over to online learning. And Ethan, you want to tell us about what Fender is up to and Fender plays, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So, hey everybody, there's over 100 of you. I'm Ethan Kaplan. I run digital for Fender. I've been at Fender for 5 years. Like Gwen, I think we've run into each other many times. We have a long history in the music business. I was at Live Nation. I was at Warner Brothers Records. I worked with REM since I was a teenager. So I have a long time vested interest in music. Next slide. So Fender Play is what I'll be talking about today, specifically an initiative we launched 8 weeks ago. If you back away 8 weeks, if you could remember it. There was some fundamental society shifts 8 weeks ago. But Fender Play has existed for 2.5 years. And next slide. Fender Play is the marquee app for Fender Digital, which has now existed for 5 years. I got brought into Fender when there was a new CEO, Andy Mooney, came over from Disney. He was formerly Nike before that. He was the CMO for Nike North America and ran Disney consumer products. But he was a lifetime guitar player, so Fender was really his dream job. It turned out it's mine as well. I got brought in 5 years ago by Andy to really take Fender, this 75-year-old musical instruments company making wood and metal things and electronics, and transition it into a digital products and services company. Next slide. So Fender has a rich history in music. Fender is 75 years old this year. It was started by Leo Fender in Fullerton, California, which is my hometown. And Leo was never a guitar player. He was a radio technician during the war that listened to musicians and liked musicians and really wanted to take music out of essentially town halls and churches and put it on stages where it can be broadcast to many people. Fender's true mission is to make modular component parts into instruments that are accessible by everybody. And we took that mission and applied that to Fender Digital. Next slide. In the last 5 years, we've launched a ton of products. We have 10 on 5 platforms. Our marquee products are Fender Tune, Fender Tone. Fender Tone is a controller for our largest line of digital amplifiers, including the one over my shoulder, the Mustang. Fender Play, which we'll be talking about today. Fender Songs, and binding all this together is Fender.com and Fender Connect in our direct-to-consumer initiative. But when I came into the company, next slide, we actually had no data, which is funny for me, coming from a background. I worked with Big Champagne, so data is my bread and butter. But we had no data actually on players. And we ran what we think and we know at this point is the only deep consumer segmentation study of guitar players. And we found a ton of interesting data, which we'll go through here. So first and foremost, the new one is, if you ask anybody who plays guitar, you would be blues lawyers is the joke, older men. But next slide. But what we found out was 50% of first-time buyers, which is 45% of our consumer base, are women. And it's been trending more toward female buyers and more toward younger buyers since then. Go forward. Next slide. 45% of our guitars that we sell every year are to new players. And next slide. 90% of them will give up within the first 6 months. But the 10%, the salmon that make it through the dam, as we say, next slide, commit for life. The average purchase for guitars is 6 to 10 over the customer's life cycle. I'm beating that with 14 right now, but I'm an outlier. So this was all great data for us, because if you could take the 90% that quit and get it down to, go ahead, next slide. Sorry, I forgot this one. 4 times. So first-time players are spending 4 times the amount on lessons as they are on the new guitars. And so if you take the 90% of people that quit, you reduce that to 80%, you get 20% more coming in on the next slide, you can double the size of the business. And the situation notwithstanding, we've seen this start to take effect. As we reduce abandonment rate, the overall business grows. Go forward. So Fender's in an interesting advantage in online learning. When we started spinning this up, we're not the only people that teach how to play musical instruments online, but we actually sell the guitar. And so we have the ability to bundle guitar lessons with the guitars we sell. So all of our beginner packs, which is a huge amount of guitars that we sell, include 3 months of Fender Play for free. And it doesn't mean you have to learn playing a Fender guitar. We're not bound to the hardware. A guitar, at the end of the day, as somebody has said, it's a slab of wood with a neck and some strings. And so it doesn't matter if it's a Fender guitar, but we also offer people that subscribe for a year 10% off Fender gear, which kind of perpetuates the cycle of people committing to learning and committing to getting gear. So next slide. So Fender Play is based around a very simple premise in terms of getting people to learn. People want to learn what they hear. And people hear music and songs. They don't hear scales. They don't hear theory. People are exposed to songs. And if they can start playing songs really quickly, next slide, they're more likely to commit to the instrument. So we based all of our curriculum on a song-based approach. So instead of the tent poles of achievement being you've learned the C scale or pentatonics or certain chords, your metric for success is the time to first song, and it's 26 minutes, no matter what pathway you take. So we call that first things fast. The quickest way to get somebody to commit to something is recognize what they're playing. So when we started Fender Play, we went out to all the publishers, and we have deals with all of them, as well as indies. And we started licensing syncs for songs, writing curriculums for them, writing lessons for them. You see all apologies on the left. One song could be 90 minutes of video content, but we also have songs that are quick hits, 6 minutes or 10 minutes, and riffs. We overall have 1,200 songs on the platform now across all genres. And it's not just what you would expect. Next slide. I made sure we got these guys in there. So we have REM, but we also have, next slide, U2. Next one. Rihanna. We have pop music in there. The quickest way to get a younger person to commit to an instrument is something that they can show off to friends. Next slide. We have Foo Fighters, so classics to contemporary, Coldplay, next slide, as well as Shawn Mendes. And so we can take any given song and kind of rip it apart, put it back together in a way that's easy to teach, and it can be super complicated. All apologies, it's not an easy song to learn. Or it can be really simple. Stitches is great because it could be taught on ukulele, bass, and guitar, which we all offer. Besides this, we also launched an online community. We have, I think, 60,000 or so people in this group. And it turned into the nicest Facebook community you can possibly imagine. And having run online communities in the past, that's saying something. We have 7 days a week content within this community, as well as across all of the Fender channels. We do a live broadcast on Wednesdays, instructor office hours, micro lessons that we teach through Instagram and Facebook. Our Wednesday Facebook Live, which is the tent pole, is simulcast across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as now Instagram, and gets over 120,000 views a week. We have artist guests on that. So Fender Play's become much more than just a place to learn how to play guitar. It's become kind of a movement within the company and within the industry that makes the brand, as well as makes the instrument, way more accessible and community-oriented and supportive for people to pick up and learn. And the nice thing that we've seen over time is that, you know, we've seen the reports, and I'm sure people online have seen the guitar's dead, rock music's dead because it's now all EDM. Well, things shift all the time, but the guitar shifts with it. So while musical genres are always adapting and always shifting with what is popular, the guitar has kind of remained on the stage the entire time. So that leads us to today and playthrough. So 8 weeks ago, we all saw that the world was going to be shifting a little bit. I think it's shifted more than we knew, and I haven't been out of this office in 9 weeks, essentially. And so seeing this, we had done a lot of research into the psychological benefits of learning prior to this. We did an in-depth analysis with psychologists and musicologists and music education experts. And music as a performance lessens anxiety, helps with stress, is good for what we call psychoacoustic skills. It's something that you have to do physically while listening and while seeing something. So we had all this data going in, and we knew that Fender Play was helping people because of the community. So we decided we were going to give away 100,000 3-month free accounts to Fender Play. We blew through the 100,000 in a couple hours. So then we, next slide, went to 500,000, which took another week. And now we're chasing 1 million. So we've upped this to 1 million, which is the latest. You know, we're going all the way. So next slide. So this has been an unprecedented success for the company. It kind of surprised all of us, I think. We've had 720,000 redemptions of this offer, 6 billion PR impressions, all earned, 1,200 stories in terms of PR pickup, 392,000 social channel engagements, 140 of artists, not just people that play Fender, have shared it amongst their social channels. And as we get this new cohort of users in, which is shifting dramatically our demographics, we're picking up a lot of insights into how people learn and what people are learning through our survey responses. We've also had a lot of press interest. You can see my office. It was on CNN and it was picked up at People. It really struck a chord with people. It's a time of high anxiety and uncertainty, but there is something refreshing about putting the screens away and picking up an instrument and learning. And we've seen as we go, people are really taking this and running with it as a family activity, as an individual activity. And it confirmed a lot of the research that we had. Next slide. We're seeing people in the community saying that it's been super positive for them to learn, and music and community and bringing people together has become more important than ever. Next slide. We've confirmed a lot of our, no time like a crisis to test out stress relief of something. And we've seen this through the communities, threads of people posting that picking up the guitar and playing has been a huge reducer of anxiety and stress for them in these uncertain times. Next slide. And as people are locked inside and people are spending more time together, learning guitar is something that you can turn yourself to. It's an activity that takes yourself away from the news cycle, and you can kind of immerse yourself in something you like and do something with family. Next slide. And confirming a lot of our research into mental health benefits of learning music and doing these activities. People are confirming, and people are talking and giving testimonials about that it's one of the best things that they've done. And next slide, that it's giving them some balance. If we were locked inside 12 hours a day, it's hard not to just work. And this lets people kind of shift their attention. In the last 8 weeks, next slide, we've also taken this offer and this campaign to a lot of charities, as well as companies that are also affected by this. The live music business, which, Fender has 90% of stage share in terms of guitars and amplifiers on stage, but there's no stages right now. And artists are finding themselves turning to Instagram and turning to live feeds and turning to it and need help to a degree. And so we're trying to make sure that through Live Nation's efforts with Crew Nation, with Bands in Town, and Music Cares in the Hall of Fame, that we're helping out musicians. And we've also worked with Whole Foods, Hutton Hotels, and other partners in order to, get this mission out there for people. Besides that, our attention, next slide, is always on our artists. Fender is a tool maker for artists to make their best work and be creative. And we've worked with our entire roster of artists to make sure that, one, they feel supported by us as they navigate these times in terms of their music, in terms of their shows, and two, that they can give something to fans as well through this. So we've had artists pick it up from Blink-182 to Brad Paisley, One Republic, George Harrison, and Danny Harrison, Tyler Bryant, every genre that you can possibly think of. People are really seeing the more you play, the more you listen, the more you listen, the more you participate. And, through times like this, crisis often breeds creativity, and as much as we can look forward to getting through this, it's going to be really interesting to see the type of music that comes out of this, not only from established artists like the ones we work with, but everybody picking up an instrument for the first time and trying to make something. So I'm actually open for questions. I know that there's a question box down here, but want to, on an ending note, more than ever, what we've seen is music has power. It always has. It's been there since two people banged rocks together. And through every societal shift and through every major event in the history of mankind, basically, music has been there. And Fender's really excited and honored and optimistic about how we can help people through this.
Well, thanks, Ethan, for sharing Fender's Fender's vision on all this. The audience, as Ethan had mentioned, if you guys want to ask some questions, just hit the chat box there. I think one action for everybody on this call is looks like there's 280,000 subscriptions still available for this thing for free. So I think after the call, you guys should just go to the Fender site and sign up, and then maybe on the next webinar, somebody get on live and show us how much you've learned playing the guitar.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it going to 1 million, and we have no credit card required. So just head to fender.com/playthrough in order to participate.
So it's
I don't have any questions down here, but
there we go. Can you see them?
yeah, I don't see any questions. Are
There,
there any?
yeah, there's a couple. There's one down here. So it says, here's a question for you. When you're using a song by a well-known artist as part of Fender Play, is it the commercially released sound recording, or is it different, or even a live recording? It's from Deborah Newman.
Hi, Deborah. Nice to talk to you. Yeah, they're considered cover versions. In fact, we don't use masters. So the way that we write song lessons, we look at search volume, we look at charts, we look at we used to look at Big Champagne data. We look at a lot of data to determine kind of what people want to look at. And then we have a team of curriculum writers that will basically rip the song apart into its component parts on their own, usually using Apple Music subscription or something, and then write a curriculum script based on that. We work with the on-camera talent to take the lesson and then break it into teleprompter format, and from the lesson that we shoot, we'll generate the tablature and the chord diagrams and the music and everything, the pieces that accompany the video instruction. So we never actually use the master. They're all versions of it, sometimes simplified to campfire songs, and sometimes all the way up to note for note as played by the artist. And we link out to Apple Music and Spotify from Fender Play.
So Ethan, can you repeat the address so somebody can sign if they want to sign up for the free subscription?
Sure. Fender.com/playthrough.
Okay, so here's another question from Rachel Craig. What's the best way to put forward our artists to teach on Fender Play?
You can email me. We're always looking for new instructors, and ekaplan@fender.com. And we're also always looking for artists that would love to participate in the live broadcasts and the online, the social lessons that we do as well. So we have a lot of opportunities for artists to participate in this, and we're trying to broaden the amount of video content that we do. So.
Okay, here's another question from Dave Park. According to Statistica, 80% of music fans are not musicians, and I'm curious about Fender's strategy for attracting first-time players is the first part of the question. And then beyond converting people who show an interest in learning, is there any focus to draw more people that might not even think about themselves as being musically inclined?
Yeah, we based Fender Play's curriculum around never having picked up an instrument before. And so the 26 minutes and the 30-minute target was basically from opening the box for the first time to playing something recognizable. Now, 80% of people that listen to music don't necessarily want to play. I think it's partially due to they don't feel that they can. So a lot of our effort is also making sure that the instruments themselves are accessible, small form factors, good strings, because it's actually a painful instrument to play. And also helping people pick the right instrument to start learning on. So we try to tackle this on two fronts. The software side is making a curriculum easy to learn, easy to get into. And the hardware side is actually guitars that are easy to play, easier ways to pick which guitar to learn, easier ways to have less decision making around what gear to learn. So we've taken a kind of two-pronged approach to that.
These are all, like, all of a sudden these things start to go.
But those are the things you're gonna have to sit down and write down.
Correct.
Okay, I feel like we're getting some bleed or something going on here, right? I think that's probably it. I mean, there's a few more questions on here. We'll respond directly to people in Music Biz. I think is going to provide us the info. I want to thank Ethan for sharing Fender's vision. I want to thank Gwen and Peloton for presenting and going over what Peloton's up to, and just kind of in closing, the in-home interactive music experiences like fitness, music learning, and others like VR are really getting some traction right now. So be on the lookout what these products are how they're gonna develop in the near-term future. And at Music Biz, be sure to check out the Future Is Now room. Nicole, I think you're still there. You wanna kind of do what you do?
For sure. Thank you guys so much. I learned a lot today. I think our audience did as well. So thank you, Bill, for putting this together. Thank you, Ethan and Gwen and Peloton and Fender for being with us. And hopefully we see you guys both at Music Biz along with Bill in August. So thank you all. Check the website for Music Biz live events and other Common Ground webinar events coming up here shortly. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your afternoon and stay safe.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.